Hi there. This is just going to be a really quick demonstration. This is specifically for a VCV, but the same concepts and shortcuts can be applied to CV also. However, VCV is scary if you don't know what's what, because it's all of these crazy files, and if you don't read hiragana at all, it's it's scary. Even when it was first coming out, it was really daunting. Um, so things that might seem simple to me, someone who's known about this for almost a decade, might just not occur to other people. So the first thing that you may not know is the shortcut Control G. And when you select a note and press Control G, it will open up this screen. If you've never seen this before, I don't know the technical name, but it's the window where if you move this changes the settings in the OTO file. That is the easiest way to get there. The other way to get there is go to Tools and then go here. Sorry, it's in Japanese. I was too attached to it to switch to English. And this is why I said VCV is scary to someone who's new to all of this, because it just keeps going and going. I think this bank has 1,000 lines in it, so I completely understand. So, and to get back to this screen, you just have to click the editor button. Now let's go back. Now I've set up this UST so that there are problems that need to be fixed with each little couplet. Now you can, if you can't read hiragana, which is totally understandable, you may not realize that that says ah, but when you play it, now you might be wondering how to fix that. Now press Control G and press play right here. You'll hear that instead of saying ah, like it's supposed to, it's saying wah? Yes. So I just changed this for this specifically, but I can't remember. Alright. So, to see where we're at, we can start here. This is woe. And when it transfers over to this, and you can see the difference in the waveform, you'll see that's ooh. Oh man. And I think this will be in. So this is wah. So what we're meant to be hearing is probably this. And I am going to be posting videos with tutorials on how exactly to get this red line where it needs to go. However, for now, with VCV, you just need to know this goes right at the start of the vowel. So now that that's fixed, let's listen to it. Good. Exactly what's supposed to be. Now let's try this one again. There's something wrong with this. So let's open it and look what's up. So this is silence. It's a little staticky, a little noisy, but it's still silence. And that's where that sound was coming from. Now let's look and press play. So I don't know if you can hear it. This is really quiet, but it said ta, so we know that the ta is right. So we just need to move it this way to see if that fixes it. Now, I'm just really that, well, and it is correct. Now, a quick thing, I don't expect anyone to, yeah, that's about right. This is the spectrogram view, and when you're first beginning doing all this stuff, it's really difficult to read all of this, but if you practice enough, you will eventually understand them over time. You can even change the colors. That's just a silly fun thing. But don't worry about spectrograms, just worry about it sounding good. So turn off. And that sounds like it will sound good. Good. And now, now it's hard to tell there's a problem here. But let's listen to this one. And this one. And now let's listen to this one again. When the do starts, well, ro, if you want to be English about it, but when the n starts, you can see that the play line is right here. When the da starts, you can tell that the play line is right here. And when you play this one by itself, you can see that the line is already right here. So what does that mean? It means that most likely the red line is not in the correct place. So when you press play, it sounds right. But if you look at the waveform and you look at the spectrogram, you can see that it isn't right. Now let's just shift it back so that it is. And I'll explain quickly all of the parts. These OTOs aren't, the offset and the overlap and the pre-utterance aren't perfect, but you want the green to always be on a relatively full part of the preceding vowel, and you always want the red to be at the very beginning of the vowel, and you want this blue over here to not have any silence exposed. And that's basically it for VCV. Now press OK, and let's listen again. See? Better. And now we'll listen to all three. And if the bank is not uniform, then you can't do this as easily as I'm showing you. But I will link to in the description a video on how to make the OTO file uniform. When the OTO file is uniform, configuring it is really, really easy and awesome. So, for example, this is a little too far over, so I'll move it here. This looks about right. Why is it skipping? I wouldn't say this is exactly correct, because this is the consonant and this looks like it really is something completely different in the beginning of the vowel. However, this is different, as we can see in the spectrogram, from the rest of it, so I would move this here. but that causes a problem because we want the overlap to be closer to the middle of the vowel so that there isn't any weird interference where things aren't exactly lined up. But if this is happening to your own bank and it's only this minor, don't worry. If you're dealing with this, it's minor, it'll work fine, it's no problem. And here again, I took you through that little walk just to tell you this is okay. This is fine. It'll sound good. This is slightly better. And I think that this would be pretty awesome as a criticism for this bank and something to think about on your own. The blank right here is a little bit too long for these samples because you can see it's starting to cut off right here. The overlap is a little too high, or the pre-utterance is a little too low. These numbers right here are basically the standard I swear by. So this bank was recorded with a timing that was slightly off according to this these numbers. But I'm saying all of this, but I want to impress upon you that this UTAU Hyoyuki has some of the best VCV OTOs I've worked with while working on my blog. These are amazing. They're not perfect, but they're amazing. And if yours look this good, even if I'm able to say, well, it would be slightly better if it was 10 milliseconds later, or this comes like 10 milliseconds too early, you're doing good. And all of that was just a rant. I don't expect it to really soak in as much as I just want people to be exposed so that they can ask questions. And I hope that's good. But yeah, all of these little parts don't really matter. All you have to know to do, if there is a negative sign right there in the blank, what's it called? This is gonna mess. At the end of data, the right blank, if that's negative, then all you have to do is go like this and move it around until you find the correct spot in whatever you're doing. And if it was recorded correctly, you'll almost always find what you need to make the sample sound good. Now, I will tell you that sometimes there'll be a mistake. And in that case, let's say that she didn't have odo. We just have to add a little dash here. And now, if there isn't a sample that's required, such as, you know what, I said this is just going to be a quick little thing. I've been going for 14 minutes. So let's just go down the bullet points. Open this up. If it's not making the correct sound, there's a chance that it's either a little off or very off. To move it around, all you have to do is click this and drag it around. And eventually you'll find the correct thing. As long as it sounds good to you, that's all that matters. But if you want to be correct, the red line has to go at the beginning of the vowel. If you can't get the green line in the correct place by just dragging things around, don't worry. That kind of stuff is kind of advanced, and I understand if you just want to work with moving around the blue line. However, if the blank right here does not have a negative number, you won't be able to do that. And I will include a link in the description to a video where you can convert a bank that doesn't have that negative 600 in it to one that does. And that is really all I think you can say about fixing VCV without delving into the really difficult stuff. And I'm sorry I went rambly, but I don't know what's worse. Launching into a bunch of technical details or just not mentioning them at all. Because it's easy to say, just click a button and then drag around until it sounds good. But actually explaining as much as I can and then saying, but you know, whatever. I'm hoping that's better. Well, I'm sorry for rambling. Bye.